Everyone, RemanX here, and we're going to go through a couple of key components here. We're going to give you guys what I think are the top tech characters currently in the game. They're going to be featured heavily in your Doom choices. They're going to be featured heavily in your choices for going into the Dark Dimension 3 and 4, and we're going to get right into it right now. So obviously we're starting with Doc Ock. Now Doc Ock is a very powerful legendary. He's somebody I upgraded to a 7th red star. And while I don't regret it, I don't always recommend it. One reason is because we're going to talk a little bit about how that synergy with a certain character that we're going to be adding to this list will have affected my decision making for certain portions of what I've done. So realistically, Doc Ock is a character that's featured heavily on war defense. He is also a very, very good character on offense. I use them in arena quite frequently to challenge the Black Order, and you can do the same in war if you pull them off of defense. Now, they still are a troublesome defense for a lot of teams, and because there's no real best Sinister Six, although I think I might have the best, but you know that's my judgment call there. He does bring a lot to the team. Now, we're going to talk about using him effectively really quickly. One thing about him is this ability with the 3 charged. Remember, you can change him up a little bit. Like, these ISOs are something that, like, you know, there's going to be some more theory crafting coming up very, very soon. But for the summon, the reason why I did all of these was to make sure my summons always had their max ability. And that affected it quite a bit here. Some people like to have the summon Rhino because he is annoying as a 6th member. But that being said, very, 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 very good with the flip and the extend, and he does work well with the team here. And we're going to talk about the next character. The next character is something that, well, he needs no introductions. He's probably the best raid character in the game. Using him more and more, I will say that he makes the raids a lot easier from when you could use him in the Greek raids or in Doom raids. He is the prize that you're pushing your roster towards. He needs no introduction, and we'll talk about the team that I've been able to occasionally one-shot the last tech node in the Doom raid with. And we're going to talk about something else here. So Shuri's kind of a mixed player. She's fallen off now that I added a different 5th here, but she's really good because of the defense up, the energy gain. She's also a potential legendary. I debated back and forth what I was going to include her on this list, but she's kind of tied, especially until you get Doom. She really kind of, has some amazing potential that's understated. That being said, I don't know if after you get Doom that I would recommend bringing her up if you didn't. And we're going to talk about that in a minute right here. So Shuri, basically the most important things about it is we talked about her passive being really good in raids. So that's one of the things you're going to be able to see that's why it's so good. The Kimoyo healing with the 3 target and then being able to clear from wakandan. Remember, this instant upgrade, okay? Do not T4 it unless you're using a whole Wakanda team, and I really hope you're not. And if you are, share that with me because maybe I'm missing something here. We're moving on. So realistically, one thing about Ghost, and I think what I will say is when I walk you guys through what happens on the tech node here, the reason why she's so powerful is because of the fact that she can both rewind time if you have a skirmisher, and more importantly, her health drain. 15% health drain is no joke, and it also does damage. So it is a sizable power flux, and obviously using her in Dark Dimension 4, her being viable in the Doom raids makes her, top of this list. We're going to talk about this. Now, this is a very, very controversial setup here, and we're going to talk about this. I was talking to a member of our community, and he said, hey, Rem, why don't you try this character? There's some interesting components. Imagine if he used the platform when so Doom's ult is called Time Platform. Imagine if he took that magic carpet ride into the future and was able to, get all that extra speed. Well, it works out kind of interesting, and it allows you to get an early edge on that last tech node, and it has been kind of the key to one-shot, building up all the ults to have them all ready to go. being able to do crazy amounts of drain and drain Doom through his threshold, so he doesn't trigger the speed up, and then having the chance to just annihilate characters that have large health pools. And that's been the big problem with the tech node is the health pools. And one thing I'll recommend is we'll talk about the rotation here, is blowing up Doombot speeds up Minerva. Minerva can do the drain really quickly early on, and then we'll follow up with some damage. And then when you get the speed up, when you blow up your Doombots again, she'll get a bunch of extra turns. So it's really kind of interesting how this synergy works. So my current Doom team is featuring this. Now, the problem I had was a 7 red star Doc Ock. I was forced to make my 6 red star Falcon a striker to be able to get that threshold, so he's higher damage than Doc Ock, so he wasn't rolling on the ult, so he was the character that was getting the extra turns as a result. I'll go back to that in case we're talking about. And then this character needs no introduction. We were talking about her already. Minerva with the res, her drain ability, the fact that she is Dark Dimension 4 viable. So realistically, I would put Falcon as a question mark for a lot of people. They're probably not going to have the power level I have. But realistically, what I'm counting on them for is using the Red Wing for the extra speed bar for the buffs. And they're going to have some because Doc Ock's going to drop. The enemy Doc Ock on a tech node is going to drop the buffs. And you're gonna get a full 800 speed from that. And it's going to be a sizable difference when you think about being able to do that multiple times on multiple turns. So a lot of fun with this character, but I don't think he's better than Minerva. Obviously, you're taking Minerva into Dark Dimension. I don't think there's a substitute for what she can bring to the fight. Her drain here, her res make her substantial. And I will say this is interesting. I might start recommending this ability, especially with the fact that using Doombots and speeding her up with the being able to speed her up against characters with like summons, because you have the Doom summons, is really, really interesting to me. And so typically you've got 3 summons, you're almost getting an extra turn right away. So something to think about if you're using her with Doom and with other characters who have summons. I'm still on the fence at it. +5 speed. Definitely have to take into account if this is actually making the tech node easier for me. So that's about it. We're gonna move into kind of again what I recommend. So ISOs or healer on her, striker, because if you have to push them over the edge, obviously you can mix it up. Striker for her. I'm gonna say for now, and maybe going into the future, Dr. Doom is a raider. And the main reason is we need somebody to mark targets with this team. So the team I'm recommending is, and again, after you beat Dark Dimension 4, is going to be Dr. Octopus, Dr. Doom, so Doctor, Ghost, Falcon, and Minerva. And so it doesn't seem like there's a lot of damage there, but Dr. Doom, once he starts getting rolling, will do amazing amounts of damage because you're going to give them the extra turns and the extra speed. Another thing about it is their drains will be up frequently, and being able to control targets and have the ability to flip buffs and then extend them again is very, very underrated. So it's something you have to get comfortable with. I'm going to try to get footage of a nice, comfortable one-shot. I had to get Falcon up to the right power level here to make sure that it was something that I can do reliably. Remember, I do things so you don't have to, and this is one of those scenarios where it may have paid off, and we're going to find out. So these are my top 5 tech characters. I will say if you're kind of struggling and you're trying to figure out how to make it work, I will say that there are some other tech characters that are pretty good. I'm going to put Ant-Man with Ghost for some of those nodes because of the ability block. So if you're looking for an extra character and also the assist for the rewind. So if you're looking for an extra character and you don't have Doom yet, that will definitely help. The question is, did you bring up Ant-Man? And if you didn't, you probably can talk about Star-Lord. And I know some people have been using Ultron on those nodes until they get Doom for the extra offense up. And some people actually are saying they're using Star-Lord, but they're probably not one-shotting some of those nodes. The tech nodes are probably the second hardest nodes behind skill for a lot of folks, because there just isn't a ton of characters, and hopefully we get some relief to that soon. All right, if you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comment. I will do my best to get answers to them. These are the top 5 characters for tech in the game for April.